All right, so today we're gonna be talking about conversation topics with women. We're gonna rank which ones are the best ones, which ones are the worst ones. So I have a bunch written down here. There are a couple more I'll probably talk about. We're gonna rank them into 3 categories. Categories like definitely should talk about, doesn't really do anything either way, or you should not talk about. We're gonna label them as such. I'm gonna have 3 different pens here. We're gonna circle them. Blue means good, green means neutral, red means bad. Don't talk about these topics. The first one is observations about them. So this is something that you've noticed about them. This is something that, maybe when you first met them, they were very stylish, or, they always laugh at things. They seem very positive, all right? This is something that I think everybody should be doing. If you get good at this, being able to observe the person that you're talking to, holy cow, that is an actual game changer that will upgrade your game. Being able to notice things about people that other people don't necessarily notice. So I'm gonna put this one in blue. If you watch my videos, you know anything about me, you know that observations about them. You see me do this in infield footage, you see me do this on my podcast, you see me do this with just everybody in general, okay? This is a great habit to start getting across, making observations about them. Then you can talk about them. If you notice that they're stylish, if you notice that they, have a nice laugh or anything like that. Those are things that are gonna be really good. People love talking about themselves, and if they notice that you notice something about them, that makes them feel important and good. The next one is hobbies. So this is something that you might say, hey, so what do you like to do for fun? Believe it or not, although women do like talking about themselves, not all of them have hobbies. Believe it or not, I think this is like a conversation that if you had it, it would kind of just be a regular conversation. It's not really doing anything for you. It's not flirtatious. It's not, going in that direction, but it's an easy thing to talk about. And if you guys have mutual hobbies or hobbies that you have in common, it can actually be pretty good. But a lot of times I've found that this topic can sometimes be a dead end. People are not as excited to talk about their hobbies as you might think. And unless you share hobbies together, it usually isn't something that's gonna make the conversation that much more spicy, but it's a good one to have. All right, music. Again, this is probably something that would fall under hobbies. What do they like to listen to? If you guys have an artist in mind that you've seen, then great. Shared music, things that you've seen, shows, festivals, whatever, all that's pretty good. But I generally find that this is gonna be one of those things that's not gonna head into the direction of like, we're building attraction with each other, we're flirting, we're teasing. So I'm gonna circle it in green. Not bad to talk about, but it's not gonna do anything terribly great for you either. Same thing with TV shows. Although with TV shows, I find it can be actually really fun because people tend to have strong opinions about it. I'm watching this show called The White Lotus. Anybody seen that show? Dude, everyone's seen that show. Everybody's got opinions about it. It's fun to hear their opinions. It's fun to tease them about. I still would not put it any higher than the neutral category, because unless you have shows that you have in common, it's not gonna be something that's gonna really take things to like the next level. Same thing with the job. Not gonna be really something that takes it to the next level all that much. This is actually in my video on 5 questions I ask women when I'm out. It's basically a small talk question. Oh, so what do you do, right? This is just a typical question that you're gonna ask people all the time. It's an easy way to get the conversation started. And if you're like, oh, I don't know what to say next, it's an easy question to ask that usually people have an answer for. However, people generally don't like talking about work that much. People generally don't want to be talking about their job when they're out of their job. So job, we're going to put it neutral. We're going to put it green. Where they grew up. This one might actually surprise you. This is almost always like the question that I ask. This tells you a lot about a person, where they came from, what do they like to do, what kind of person they are. I actually will talk about this with most women, and believe it or not, I'm going to circle this in blue. Why? Because I think that this is something, if you meet somebody at some point in time, you really want to know where they grew up, where they came from. Oh, where's that accent from? Dude, I knew you were going to say Nashville. I was thinking North Carolina. So like you guessing about that, you can tease them about it. Oh, there's no way I would have guessed you were from New York. Because you're so nice. When you're doing this, where they grew up, easy way to tease them. And everybody grew up somewhere. Everybody has feelings about it, whether she hated it or whether she loved it. The fact that you can appreciate where she came from is going to make a big difference, dude. So, easy right there. Dreams and aspirations. This is a tricky one. If she has great dreams and aspirations, things that she's looking forward to, hell yeah, you can talk about it. What I have found though, is much like hobbies, there are a lot of women out there that don't have really crazy dreams. And I get asked by guys all the time if they should talk about this sort of stuff with women. And I find sometimes with a lot of women, you get a blank stare. They're not ready to share their dreams and aspirations for you, or more than likely, they don't really have that big dreams and aspirations. They want a nice husband, they want a family, they want friends, they want to watch their reality TV shows. We probably want to find someone who's a little bit, more aspirational than that. But for the most part, if you're looking for a traditional woman who stays at home and wants a nice family, this is probably not going to be a question she's going to gel with all that much, except for when you talk about family. However, if you are looking for an ambitious woman, if you are looking for someone who has a dream and who is looking for something to do that is bigger than what she is, then hell yeah, this would be a blue. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna circle this in blue, and we're gonna put it halfway between blue and green. And then we come to astrology. So with astrology, this is something that I know I'm gonna get flack for, but is something that a lot of women love talking about. Why do they love talking about astrology? Is it because they believe in it and they believe all that stuff? I think for a lot of women, it's a little bit of entertainment and it helps them in their way understand people. I'm a scientist. I don't believe in astrology. I majored in physics when I was in college. I go by things based on evidence. Obviously, astrology is not strictly true by science, but it is a way that people understand each other. And it's a way that she can talk about herself as well, too. So what I ask somebody is if they say like, oh, I'm a Pisces, and you're like, oh, cool. Do you agree with your sign? Do you feel like you embody your sign? I don't know jack shit about what being a Pisces means, by the way, okay? But she does. And if she wants to talk about it, then she can talk about, because I'm this, I'm that. If they like talking about themselves, they're gonna love talking about astrology, okay? Not every woman is super into astrology, but a lot are. And I know I'm gonna get a comment from somebody on this video who's saying, oh, I would never date somebody who believes in astrology. That's so dumb. It's like, I heard another guy saying like, oh, I don't want to date a woman who watches reality TV. Bro, you are really narrowing I've dated a lot of women. Some of them don't like reality TV or astrology, but most, honestly, do. And if that's your biggest criteria and you don't want someone who's warm, caring, loyal, beautiful, like all of those things should probably matter more than whether she likes reality TV or astrology. Hopefully your priorities are in check, but if that's a hard line for you, no problem. We'll put it blue and then we'll also put it green as well too. Because some women, this won't hit with, but for a lot of women, it will. You don't have to get into astrology to do it, which is why I'm circling it in green. All right, here we have friends. Let's say you meet her at a party and she's with her friends. Easy question to ask is, hey, how do you all know each other? This is a common question that I ask a lot of women while I'm out. They're gonna give a story. They're gonna give how each other met each other. Sometimes if I'm out and I meet a group of women and I'm talking to one-on-one, I'm like, so what's the deal with you guys? Like, what's the story? And sometimes she'll give me the dirt on them. She's like, she's the hoe. She thinks she's good, but she's not. She's the one who will backstab you. Like, she'll give you the whole rundown. So it's a fun conversation to have, in my opinion. However, if you're out on a date, her talking about her friends and stuff, I really find that it doesn't really do that much for you. So it really depends on the context. We're gonna put this one as neutral. This one's gonna be neutral right there. Family, right here. Should you talk about family with somebody when you first meet them? In general, I don't think you should. Yes, there are gonna be women who love talking about their family, how their mom and dad are, but honestly, when you're on a date with them, you wanna get to know them. You wanna get to know who they are. This might be a common question. Some women will be like, so do you have any siblings, right? They wanna know about their family. Family is actually not that good to talk about on a first date. Family's actually not that good to talk about when you're at a party. They're at a party. You could talk about friends and family later. It's a very important topic to talk about at some point. You want to know about her family for sure, but I'm going to put it actually in red. I know this is going to sound crazy to a lot of you, but talking about their family, especially if she doesn't have a good relationship with them, is probably not going to be a good thing. You want to get to know her first. So there's like not as much benefit to talking about it at the beginning and potentially some downside. So that's why I'm circling it in red. We want to avoid this topic at the beginning, but very important to have in the future. This is talking about the dating process, not when you're in the relationship or getting into a relationship. And the ex, we're just going to circle this in red. I don't know if I need to explain myself. Don't talk about the ex. The problem is that people will bring this up. If a woman starts bringing up her ex all the time, if she starts talking about how he was abusive or she was a narcissist or whatever, the longer you stay in that category, the less advantageous it is for you. Politics. We're gonna circle this one in red. Holy cow. Dude, I was on a date with a girl one time and she wanted to talk about politics. And I was like, look, I'm not really like that into politics. Like, trying to get her to change the subject. Like, I appreciate your opinion. Let's change the subject. She just wouldn't drop it. She kept talking about it nonstop. At this point, I had had enough with this person, so I actually told her to shut the fuck up during the date. You could hear a pin drop in that restaurant after I did it. And, obviously afterwards, we still hooked up, but we didn't talk after that. Let me just put it that way. Even if you agree on the politics, I just would stay away from them. All right, religion. Same thing. Even if you have the same religion, even if you're both Jewish, even if you're both Catholic, that's great that you have that in common. That's all you need to know about it. You don't need to go into the details about how they feel about the religion and stuff like that. Okay, all this stuff is very personal. We don't want to get into that stuff just yet. It's not fun. It's not going to make her turned on at all. And it's not going to help you form a connection. Save that stuff for later. The next one is personality types. Personality types. This is like the Myers-Briggs. This is the DISC. An easy question that you can ask if they've never taken a personality test is you can just be like, oh, so are you an introvert or an extrovert? Yeah, you strike me as an extrovert. Or like, oh, I could tell you were introverted. Or maybe it seems like you're like introverted sometimes, but I bet your extroverted side comes out at least once a week. So it's an easy way to start the conversation. Easy way to get her talking about herself and how she behaves. I'm gonna circle this in blue. I love talking about this stuff. I love learning about people. I love guessing about people. And it's funny to hear what people's answers are and whether they agree with them. Personality types is big. Women love this. Travel, I want to circle this in blue because I've traveled a lot. I love talking about travel. I love talking about where they've traveled to. The problem is not every woman has traveled places. If they haven't traveled places, you can ask them, oh, where would you like to travel? Because that makes a big difference. If they would like to travel somewhere and you make them believe that, you're going to be the person they're going to share that experience with, they're going to really like you. Women don't get with a guy just because he's good looking. Women don't get with a guy just because he's rich. Women don't get with a guy just because he's got game. They get with a guy for the experience that she's going to have with him. And if she can picture experiences with you, this is good. The problem is that not a lot of people have traveled, and a lot of you guys may not have traveled places as well too. So that's why this is going in green. And the one right here, what they are looking for. So this is a pretty common topic that I see come up in with women who will ask you online. But I've also heard guys ask this question as well too. Don't ask this question. Women shouldn't be asking this question. You shouldn't be asking this question. For most people, they say they want one thing, and then you may say you want another thing. And if it doesn't have the exact same wording, or even if it does, it never helps the interaction. Even if you're both like, yeah, I want a committed relationship, I'm super excited about it, she'll come away from that interaction thinking, damn, man, like, I don't know if I'm ready to get in a relationship with this guy yet. We're gonna circle this in red. All right, so to review the topics that I think you guys should be focusing on. Observations about them, where they grew up, dreams and aspirations. Great if they have great dreams and aspirations. Astrology, if you hate astrology, you don't have to talk about it. But if you're okay with it, it's a great topic and it allows her to talk a little bit about herself too. Just be curious. The next thing is personality types. This is an easy one. An easy question to ask about this is, so are you an introvert or an extrovert? And then you know what? I'm gonna circle this in blue too, because I love talking about travel. And if they've traveled too, it's a great topic. But again, this is, if they haven't traveled, it'll be a mostly neutral topic that won't really lead anywhere. And again, stay away from these topics. What are they looking for? Politics, X, family, religion, all of those things we want to stay away from. I'm going to give you a bonus one, and that's going to be future projections. If you're talking to a woman you like, you should be projecting what's going to happen in the future, creating a world for the both of you. We used to talk about fun games we would play together. We used to talk about, things that we'd like to do or places that we'd like to travel to. Use future projections more. That's a great conversation topic that'll make women more and more into you because they'll be looking forward to doing things with you, okay? All of these things are great conversation topics, but don't forget to talk about yourself. Whatever's the most fun for you to talk about, your passions, all of those things, they're going to talk about too. You just got to find the way to talk about them. I have other videos where I talk about this. I talk about it in my school group as well too. So that's the video, you guys. Thanks for watching. Good luck out there. And if you want help, fill out the form down below and book a call with me or a member of my team. See you later, guys.